Okay, so now we've gone through the lesson with the customer. We're about to transition and go to the PPA. This is going to be a little bit different now that we have Apollo rolling out. It'll be similar other than the fact you won't have a hard copy. You'll just do this on your iPad. So we've actually set it up, I believe, it's changed a little bit, but so that Apollo will just have a couple pages that we'll be able to go over with the customer with all the stuff they need to know that we explain anyways. And then there's going to be like a little thing that'll show them that they just kind of scroll through and click agree. So it should be something like that. Anyways, so the way that I transitioned from the lesson to the PPA, I'll explain all that stuff. I'll just pull it out and I'll say, so this is the actual program as I'm pulling it out of the folder, and say this is what would go into effect if the home does qualify to do this. And then I just start to explain it. So I'll say, basically with this, you want to make sure it's simple, it's clear. They have to feel like they've read everything. If you don't go through everything, then they're going to read it because this is different from alarms. They're not putting it in 15 minutes later. They're going to do their due diligence. They're going to look at stuff. So you just have to be very thorough and explain it to them so that they feel like they've read it. So, but I'll say this is whatever. I already went through that part. We'll design, install, service, and maintain the system. So we do everything for you. You don't have to do anything for this. Activation, like I said, you don't pay anything. A lot of people ask me if there's some type of initial outlay. There's not. You don't pay anything for that. Ownership of the system, we own it, we maintain it. Insurance, you don't have to claim this on your homeowner's insurance. Since it's ours, we'll insure it. Energy price, like I said, is 15 cents. The thing people tend to like the most about this, and this is where I circled 2.9% increase and 20 years. The thing people tend to like the most about this, especially people that are familiar with PG&E, we guarantee that rate can't go up more than 2.9% a year for 20 years. So, and then I'll usually draw something on the back of the folder. I'll just show them how that affects them. I'll say last year PG&E went up 20%. The next couple years they announced they're going up 30%. They averaged 6.5%. This just says we can't go up more than 2.9%. So the longer you have it, the bigger the gap becomes. I'll explain it there. This is also when I bring up the move. So I'll say, if you guys move, one of the questions I get is, what if we move? I don't know if you guys are planning on moving anytime soon, but if you do move, the one downside to this program is we don't move the panels with you. So if you move, as soon as you move out of the house, you stop being the beneficiaries of this program, and whoever moves in becomes the beneficiary of the program. So it's bad for you because you lose the benefit of the cheaper power. It's nice for the new homeowner because they get cheaper power. So it's a good selling point. You're obviously not going to sell your house for thousands of dollars more, but it's nice to know that whoever moves in is grandfathered into the same rate you're paying. It's pretty cool. Then I move on. Then I go through the payment. So payment step one, what I mean by that is this is where I set it up. So as I'm talking about the payment, I'll say, this just says that we do everything electronically. That's probably how you do most of your stuff nowadays. This is actually probably going to make you laugh, but we don't do cash payments or money orders. So one of the qualifications is they'll actually verify there's an active bank account in the home. They'll ping it just to verify there's an active account. So anyways, I'm sure you guys have a bank account, but it's a thing we just got to make sure. So then I move on. So all I'm doing is setting it up. I'm not getting their payment yet. I'm just setting it up. Okay. I then go to warranty. Again, I probably don't need to go through all this. We warranty all the stuff. Removal of the system. If you need to re-roof the house, we'll remove it, store it, replace it. $500. Arbitration. If there's ever a dispute, we'll handle it with third-party arbitrator, not the courts. This just says anybody that gets on the roof is licensed, insured, and bonded in the state of California. This right here, this says that you guys have until it's installed, and I underline this. You guys have until it's installed to opt out or to say we don't want to do this for whatever reason. Obviously, if the roof qualifies, we don't really get that much. The reason I underline it is so that you guys understand that we also reserve that same right. If for some reason along the way, economically, this doesn't make sense for us, we just won't do it. We will just say no. So usually we have a pretty good idea, but just so you guys are aware. So, and then this is where I get their information. So right here, now's the point where a lot of times people will say, so what I'm about to do is this. I think that's basically looking for approval. I'll never ask that question. I'll say, I'll leave this with you. Whose name's on the PG&E bill? And it doesn't really matter. I just ask that so that they'll give me an answer instead of saying, what's your name? I say, whose name's on the PG&E bill? So they have to answer it, kind of. I also need to know that with PG&E for the NEM agreement. So, whose name's on the PG&E bill? Okay, let's do your name. What was your first name, last name, phone number? Get all the information. And then I just pull out my phone. Another common mistake I see is people will do that part, and then they'll say, So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to call and set up a site survey. That sounds like a big process, a big deal, and no one wants to deal with that. So just don't say it. I pull up my phone and say, they're just going to verify that I explained this to you. They're also going to let you know this is a potential solar transaction because we don't know if we can do it yet. We still need to get that guy here to see if it even qualifies. And you guys will still want to look at this, which is totally fine. Makes them feel at ease. There's no pressure built up. I'm just pulling out and saying, they're going to verify this with you. They're going to make sure I explain it all to you. They're also going to let you know that this is a potential solar transaction. That way when they say those lines on the survey, and again, this is different. Apollo's changing this, but just so you guys have it for now. When they say potential solar transaction, they look at me and they're like, oh yeah, you mentioned it. Go ahead. So go through the phone call. I get the phone back. The site survey, I don't ask them what time. I just say next available because people hate decisions. People will do whatever's easiest. So if it's easier for them to say, I don't know, we'll call you, then that's what they're going to say. But if it's easier just to say, yeah, that's fine, then that's what they're going to do. So as I'm on the phone, I'll say, next available, okay, they have a slot tomorrow between 8 and 11. Over for you guys, they just need someone here for first 10 minutes or whatever. Yep, okay. So, and then I set it up. Just because it's very simple. Get all the information. Phone call's done. After that, I've already filled everything out. Again, Apollo's going to change all this. It's all going to be filled out. It's even better. But I get off the phone, I sign it, and then I pass it over to them and say, sign here saying they explained everything to you. They can hop up on the roof. They sign it, initial here. Get them to sign this. This is just so they can access how much electricity is used in the home. They sign that, and we're good. So after that, got the signature. I now need to get payment. Usage, if they had their bill, I've already gotten usage, so it's not that big of a thing. Sometimes I haven't, and I'll go over that. But for payment, I'll say, oh yeah, also, do you guys have, they just need that voided check for whatever account you would use. Like I said, they just have to verify there's an active account in the home. So you can just give the number, or if you just have a voided check, that's probably easier. So just grab the voided check real quick, and they'll go grab the voided check. I have I have 60 voided checks in my binder, so when I open it, they see them all, and it makes them feel a little bit more comfortable to give it to me. So then with usage, I'll just say, usage is, they will get it if it's easy, and they won't if it's not. Same principle. But with usage, I will make sure that even if it's a little bit uncomfortable, even if it takes them a little bit extra time that they don't really want to spend, I would rather have them do that now than not do it, make them feel comfortable, and most likely not get it later. That's the reason that usage is so important to get, because later on if you text them and say, hey, can you grab that real quick, can you shoot me over those numbers, it's easier for them to say no, because they don't want to get off the couch and go get it, than it is to get the information. But if you just do it all for them, it's easier just to not say anything and let it happen. So if they don't have their bill, I'll call PG&E right there. SCE, I think that's the same. Sorry if this isn't specific to everybody, I just know PG&E better. So anyways, that is basically the process, the steps I go through to make sure I get everything. And I'll tell you why in a second we need to get everything.